Raising a Chow takes way too fucking long. Like if you just try to raise a good Chow by stopping in between levels as you play through the game normally, it will take you a very long time and quite a lot of playthroughs. Realistically, at some point you will end up being forced to grind over and over for animals, which is incredibly tedious. I really just think they should have balanced it slightly more leniently. Like, I understand the whole point of the Chow Garden was to increase playtime, and making you replay stages was part of that, but raising just one Chow feels like it takes an eternity, let alone trying to do multiple at once. However, by a stroke of luck, a glitch was discovered that seems to be an exact solution to this problem. The infinite small animal use glitch is probably the single most famous glitch in the entire game. Usually once you give a Chow an animal or drive, it will grab it, embrace it, and then release it in a shower of sparkles, after which you're no longer able to interact with it, and it disappears shortly thereafter. However, there is a very small area where if you put down the animal right in front of the Chow, close, but not too close, the Chow will absorb the animal and gain the stats, but you'll still be able to pick it up and use it again. It can be a little tricky to figure out the sweet spot at first, but eventually you'll get a feel for it. It helps having a few animals near you so you can chain them together to keep the Chow from wandering off. This works with Chaos Drives as well, however they go flying much further, so it's harder to pull off consistently or to get into a good rhythm. This glitch spread across the internet Chow community like wildfire, and honestly, it's not even that hard to discover for yourself. This is basically the glitch that saved the Chow Garden. I honestly believe there would have been substantially less people who got really into the Chow Garden if it wasn't for this glitch. Also, like I stated earlier, with this glitch you only need one skeleton dog to remove all the animal parts in a Chow, which makes that process much less tedious. So that's pretty much all the basics covered, right? Am I forgetting anything? Oh yeah, just one of the most fundamental and iconic features of the Chow Garden, which was introduced in Sonic Adventure 2. Alignment. Luckily for me, alignment is a surprisingly simple feature, all things considered. It's basically just a slider that goes from hero to dark. When a Chow is still in its child form, its appearance isn't just affected by its stat influence, it's also affected by its alignment slider. If you're kind to a Chow as a hero character by petting it, feeding it, etc., you will increase its hero alignment, and you can watch the effects of this happen in real time if you just pet the shit out of one for long enough. However, if you were to abuse the Chow as a hero character, alignment will shift the other way towards dark. For dark characters, it's the opposite. Be kind to them to make them dark, and abuse them to make them hero. But really, there's no reason to do it like this. It's much slower than just petting them a bunch with the alignment you want. And moreover than that, it's just cruel. If you're one of those psychos out there who's running around bashing your Chow into rocks and just kicking them and smacking them around and just beating the shit out of them, then shame on you. These little blue footballs deserve to be treated with respect. You might be wondering, how does this work in Sonic Adventure DX, as that game isn't split into hero and dark characters? Well, it actually is possible to change a Chow's alignment, but it is an extremely slow and tedious process of feeding them hero fruit or dark fruit. This is just one of the many reasons why Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is the preferred game for raising Chow. When a child Chow with a strong hero alignment undergoes its first evolution, it will become a hero Chow, and it works the same way for the dark Chow. So earlier when I was saying this is a run Chow and this is a fly Chow, that wasn't entirely accurate. The full nomenclature here would be a neutral run Chow and a neutral fly Chow. So these are just the standard hero normal and dark normal Chow. They're affected by stat influence just the same as a neutral Chow, so you can have a dark fly power or a hero swim fly, etc, etc. And yes, if you were wondering, dark run looks like a little shadow. Remember the Chow evolution chart I showed earlier? Well, there are actually 3 times as many types. There really are a ton of different ways a Chow can look, and this is before even putting on animal parts or other cosmetics. Anyways, once a Chow has reached its adult phase, its alignment is essentially locked in. The game still technically keeps track of their alignment as adults, but it doesn't affect their appearance at all, and only has the most minute imaginable behavioral effect. If your Chow has a high enough bond with a character, then when it greets you it has a chance to give a bow if it's hero aligned, or a thumbs up if it's dark aligned. I think that's literally the only effect it has in adulthood. Once you've evolved a hero and dark Chow, you'll gain access to the hero and dark gardens, respectively. Sonic Adventure 1 also has 3 gardens to choose from, one for Station Square, Mystic Ruins, and the Egg Carrier. All gardens across both games can only hold up to 8 Chow each. The hero and dark gardens actually do slowly affect a Chow's alignment over time. Just being in the dark garden for about 2 hours with no player input is enough to influence a child Chow enough to become a dark Chow when they evolve. As you can see, all the gardens underwent some changes between the Dreamcast and GameCube versions, although some of them only had extremely minor changes. The funniest change is they had to lower the water level in the hero garden because in the Dreamcast version you could drown Tails in it. I always thought it was so weird that this version of the mechless tails can even die, like you literally never use him in an adventure stage, just in the Chow Garden. To me, the most baffling change will always be the removal of this cool hill and little hidden cave area in the Dark Garden. I guess they just wanted to keep it flat and straightforward so you wouldn't lose your Chow or whatever, but it's kind of a bummer. If you ever spend a lot of the time in the Hero or Dark Gardens, you might notice your Chow never seem to use half the garden. You can pick them up and put them there, but they'll never walk there of their own free will. This is due to the waypoint structure of the Chow's movement AI. This entire part of both gardens is simply missing waypoints altogether. Thankfully you can download a mod to fix this issue on PC. What if I told you there was actually a 6th type of Chow you could evolve into? There's nowhere in the game that explains how to do this, and even online for the longest time, people didn't understand the exact mechanics of it. There are a number of requirements you need to meet. First of all, your Chow needs to have reincarnated at least twice already. The second is it needs a happiness value of greater than 80. Again, this is easy to achieve. The third, and most important, is it needs to have been given at least one of every animal in its current life. For the longest time, people thought you must only give your Chow exactly one of each animal, but that's not the case. All that matters is to make sure it evolves into a normal type Chow, meaning none of its 4 stat influences are high enough to cause it to evolve into a Chow of that specific type. When you finally complete all of these steps correctly, then upon evolving, a special music sting will play, and your Chow will have evolved into the legendary Chaos Chow. This is a very special kind of Chow. It cannot receive animal parts like a regular Chow, and will always maintain a single featureless appearance that does not change regardless of stat influence. Chaos Chow are incapable of mating, so if you want another Chaos Chow, you need to go through all the steps listed earlier. And finally, their signature ability is that they're immortal. They will never die or reincarnate. In addition to your standard Chaos Chow, there's also the Hero and Dark versions, sometimes informally referred to as Angel Chow and Devil Chow. This is essentially considered the pinnacle of Chow evolution. But as it is locked into this form and unable to reincarnate, its stat grades will never be able to be improved, and its final stats at level 99 will be what it's stuck with forever. So if you're going to go through the trouble of raising a Chaos Chow, obviously make sure it's not some E-ranked piece of shit. Now, I'm not 100% sure what the lore implications of this are. I mean, we already knew Chaos was connected to the Chow as their guardian or whatever. I guess this is implying Chaos has evolved from a Chow or what? In the original Japanese release of Sonic Adventure 1, Chaos can be heard making Chow sounds when appearing and transforming into Call's flashback during the last story. For whatever reason, these Chow sounds were removed in later versions. Well, according to the official Chaos character page on Sonic Channel, he is in fact a mutated Chow after all, so let's just leave it at that. So, what do you do if you want more Chow? Well, the main way to get more Chow is by breeding them. After about 3 Chow years, an adult Chow will naturally enter a mating phase, or you can use a heart fruit from the black market in order to cause any adult Chow to immediately start its mating season. Once you have any 2 Chow who are ready to mate, put them next to each other and they'll rub their little faces together and an egg pops out. It's really that simple. Chow are not gendered and there's no such thing as Chow incest, or, well, at least there's no negative consequences from it. In Sonic Adventure 1, there are also 3 hidden Chow eggs you can find in the adventure field. A gold one, a silver one, and a black one. Then, through breeding these rare Chow together, you can hatch the bronze and onyx Chow as well. In the Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure 1, these were the only different color Chow you could get besides the default. In fact, these 3 eggs were the only eggs you can get in the entire game besides the ones you get from breeding, so I think that means if you were to kill the 2 starting Chow from each of the 3 gardens, then find all 3 eggs in the adventure fields and kill those Chow too, you'd be permanently stuck without a way to get new Chow, right? Every other version has a black market you can buy new eggs from, but not the original Sonic Adventure 1, so I think that makes it the only game you can achieve total Chow extinction. Not that I'd ever do such a thing, of course, but I'm just saying some depraved madman out there or some stupid poor kid who just sucks at raising Chow has probably done it. Sonic Adventure 2 for the Dreamcast, in addition to introducing the Hero and Dark Chow, also brought back the Black, Silver, and Gold Chow from the first game. However, as there were no adventure fields to find the eggs in, this is when they had the idea to create the Chow Black Market. However, it's quite different in this game compared to the later iterations. It was only accessible online via the in-game web browser. You see this bulletin board? In the PC version, it just displays this not-so-helpful message, but in the Dreamcast version, it offers to launch the website. The GameCube version simply referred you to the URL. This version of the Black Market didn't charge rings, but rather required you to have a certain amount of emblems earned. This was verified by uploading your save file to the webpage. Players were able to download a number of rare jewel chow, like the ruby, sapphire, amethyst, and emerald chow. The final chow available from the site was the incredibly rare moon chow. This chow is completely unique in that it's the only chow available in any of the games, which uses a specific texture for its skin, and it was only available in the Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure 2. Despite this, you only need 30 emblems to be allowed to download it, which is a pretty low number all things considered. In addition to the black market, there was also a section called the Chow Daycare where you could upload your chow for other people to download, and you could browse other people's chow creations too. Anyways, with the GameCube games, they introduced 13 different colored chow eggs available from the black market. In general, as you collect more emblems in the main game, the variety of items in the black market increases. However, you might find that even with all the emblems, no matter how many times you check the shop, it will never have the specific color egg you want. This is because there are 3 sets of colors, each containing 3 colors: blue, orange, and green, yellow, pink, and purple, and finally red, brown, and sky blue. When your chow save game is generated, one of these sets is selected to never be sold at the chow store, meaning you will never be able to obtain chow of these colors on your save. This might seem like an odd feature, permanently making a few colors unavailable, especially on PC where there's no way to get them without hacking. But in the GameCube version, you could actually trade chow between games using a feature I'll talk about later. So the colored chow eggs you buy from the store can hatch a chow that are all one solid color. These are known as monotone chow, and unlike normal chow, who change color with their stat, influence, and evolution, these monotone chow will maintain their solid coloration their entire life. However, this is not the only kind of chow coloration possible. By breeding a monotone chow with a normal chow, you're able to create a two-tone chow. These chow are not a solid flat color, and they can display highlights and patterns that come with certain evolutions. In addition to color and tone, there's another factor that influences a chow's appearance, whether it's shiny or not. On rare occasions, the black market will have a shiny monotone color egg for sale. As the name implies, a shiny chow will have a brighter, sparkling coating. All chow can come in either shiny or non-shiny versions. However, shiny chow is not to be confused with a jewel coat like the gold or silver chow from Sonic Adventure 1, or the downloadable chow from the Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure 2. That's actually a separate thing. A jewel coat will override the natural tone and coloration of a chow. As in, technically you could have a monotone red chow with a gold jewel coat. It would just look identical to a normal chow or any other colored chow with a gold coat. Via breeding, it's even possible to obtain a shiny jewel chow. However, the shiny and jewel traits appear to conflict, and depending on the version of the game you're using, they can appear completely different. On GameCube, depending on the color used, they can appear transparent or even invisible. On the original PC release of Sonic Adventure DX, they just appear as shiny two-tones, but as a completely different color than the version you used to breed for some reason. For whatever reason, on the Steam, 360, and PS3 versions of the game, there's a glitch that causes the shiny jewel chow to appear insanely bright. So color, tone, shininess, and jewel coat are the 4 genes that affect the chow's appearance. When it comes to breeding, there are dominant and recessive genes. For example, all color genes are equally dominant except for the normal coloration, which is recessive. On the other hand, jewel coating is a dominant gene, with all children of a jewel coat parent inheriting it. Every chow will have 2 alleles stored in each genetic trait. Chow do in fact have hidden and recessive genes not expressed in their phenotype. Look, I'll spare you the Punnett squares, but basically chow breeding is a pretty simple process, although depending on the offspring you're hoping for, it might take a few tries. So in addition to selling eggs, hats, and fruit, something else you can buy from the black market are seeds. In order to plant the seed, your chow will need to have won the shovel toy from the crab pool race. You can also water the sapling with the watering can toy you win from the Stump Valley race in order to make it grow faster and live longer. Most fruits give a small percentage bonus to stamina per bite, but some have a special effect for the last bite. For example, it's the last bite of the heart fruit that makes the chow ready to mate, and it's the last bite of the hero and dark fruit that slightly changes their alignment. The last bite of the mushroom is what slightly increases your luck. Chow also have a favorite fruit which it prefers to eat. You see, sometimes chow will behave and eat the whole fruit when you give it to them, and sometimes they'll take one bite and then toss it away, so you keep having to shove it in their face over and over again. So let's say your chow's favorite fruit is the triangle fruit. You can get a triangle seed to plant in your garden and start growing them yourself instead of having to buy them individually. These planted trees will eventually die though, unlike the regular trees. Each garden has 4 fixed spots where seeds can be planted. A Apparently in the Steam version of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, the trees that Chao plant are broken and will never update from their sapling model, resulting in these weird-looking buggy monstrosities. This is actually really bothering me, so I went online and surprisingly there's no quick and easy patch you can download to fix this. People had to resort to hex editing the game in order to change the appearance of the sapling to adult trees. Eventually, Sonic Retro user Main Memory was nice enough to post a simple text string you can add to the codes list of the Sonic Adventure 2 mod manager. So I did just that, and it's still not working. Huh. Oh, because I needed to capitalize the P in patch, of course. Duh. Did I really need to include this information in the video? No. No, I didn't. Something very strange that you can buy from the black market are menu themes. I'm not sure how many people even know this feature exists, but if you go into the options menu in Sonic Adventure 2, you can select a character theme, which changes the menu voiceovers to their voice as well as the background of the options menu. There's one for each playable character, as well as unlockable Omo Chow, Amy Rose, and Maria themes in the black market. They go for 10,000, 20,000, and 30,000 rings respectively, which makes the Maria theme the most expensive item in the game. They also have other requirements in order to even appear in the shop in the first place. For Omo Chow you need 100 emblems. For Amy you need 2 Chow Race emblems and all action stage emblems, apart from the all A ranks emblem. And finally, for Maria's theme to appear, you not only need all 180 emblems, you need to have linked Sonic Advance 1 and 2 to your save file via the GBA link cable. So that means it's impossible to get normally on the PC, although thankfully being on PC, of course, it's easy to fix with a mod. Something even stranger is that there's actually a hidden theme you can unlock. Go to the menu to select one, and then you have to rotate the control stick clockwise for 30 seconds, and a theme will appear for the President's Secretary. You know, this one random, extremely unimportant character? That is an extremely peculiar Easter egg. Okay, so after all of that, what exactly am I supposed to do with my Chow? I mean, what? Am I supposed to just sit around and look at it? Well, now we can finally play the game. I mean, sure, technically you don't need to know any of that stuff to start racing. If you want, you can just crack one of your eggs open and head into the waterfall and immediately enter into a race. It's just that he's gonna suck. The race mechanics differ slightly from Sonic Adventure 1 to Sonic Adventure 2. I'll briefly go over the SA1 system first. There are only 2 sets of races, beginner and jewel races, and 5 courses: Pearl, Amethyst, Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald. Once you win the jewel race, your Chow gets a little race medal it wears on its chest, which looks like the corresponding jewel. In this version, there is no